Darren Kelly,
Here.
Cal Smith,
Here.
Paul Klein,
Here.
Gary Reed Shaw,
Here.
Sylvia Wilson.
Here, thank you so much. All right, we are going to move into information items. At the beginning, we have no public comment today. And also to inform you all that we did have an executive session prior to this board meeting. There are no votes taken during executive session. We'll move on to item B, which is a report on the 2025 operating costs and revenues as compared to the budget. And it is, you're following along, this is exhibit A. And Ms. Fantoni's up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon. I am pleased to report that we have completed the first quarter of 2025. It just flew right by. We have 25% of the year has expired, and at that time, we have collected 26% of our revenue and expended 23% of our operating expenses. So we continue to operate in a sound fiscal manner. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Hearing none, we'll move on to item C, which is the wastewater treatment plan expansion cost report. According to exhibit B, and Ms. Kennedy.
Madam Chair. So here is our plan expansion cost report through the middle of April. Crossed over the value of work completed to be greater than $300 million. Quite a milestone. You'll see that the solids thickening and dewatering improvements has kind of started off a little slow, but you'll see a lot more activity of that project this year. It's just at 3.6% to date. And the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is the wet weather pump station is bidding in May. So we'll start to fill in that line item later this year as well. If you had any questions on any of the information and cost report, I'd be happy.
Hearing now, we'll move on to item, which is a report of actions by the executive director. The approval of construction changes, construction change orders within the contingency included with the board approval at the time that the contracts were awarded. Resolution number 2022-3, which is exhibit C. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, as you have indicated, this is a change order on repairs to fluid bed and separate number 2. Overall, it is a significant credit simply because there was work anticipated that would be done before all the sand was removed from the unit. Once the sand was removed and the inside was exposed, it wasn't as extensive as we thought. The largest addition in the change is the first piece. I think it's 5 manifolds that required more work than the other 5. Overall, nice credit.
Very nice credit. Good job. All right, we're going to move into action items. The first being the approval of the board minutes from the March 27th meeting.
Motion approved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is. Item B is. We'll accept the motion to consider authorizing the payment of invoices in excess of $23,800 that were processed during the period of March 18th through April 14th. The review of the summary report of expenses are attached to exhibit D. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, the invoice list is as you received it. If you have questions about specific invoices, we will be pleased to respond.
I'm hearing none, and
Motion to authorize. Second.
all in favor? Aye. Carried. Item C is a motion to authorize the preparation of specifications and advertisements for bids for the following contracts, which we see on exhibit E. Contract number 1825, furnish and deliver chemicals and technical service for treatment of boiler water, steam and condensate. And contract 1826 to furnish and deliver the foam. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, as you have just read, the first contract is for chemicals and service. So there's training associated with the first. And the first is specific to water treatment for our boiling water systems. The second is for chemical, the chemical being a defoamer. That's a lot of water that shoots into the Ohio. You think about the turbulence, the natural turbulence that's created without the foamer. We foam up the place.
Oh, well. But I have a motion in a second.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item C is approved. Item D is a motion to approve the following change orders that exceed $30,000, and we can see this item on Exhibit F. Ms. Williams.
Chair, another change order, not a credit, but not substantial overall. This is specific to the East Head Works, the electrical portion of that contract. It is for a variety of issues, from as simple as adding extra water to removing duplicate e-stops in at least one location, if not more. There were emergency stops at the equipment, but also at the motor control center. Redundancy. It afforded us the opportunity to save a few bucks. That changed. And the largest piece is the flow meter for the grip at the effluent flushing water station.
Thank you. It seems like I ask you this all the time. I need a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is carried. All right, the next two items, E and F, were considered by the Professional Services Committee, April the 10th. Item E is a motion to approve the modification of service authorization 389 for Brown and Caldwell for additional work associated with the wet weather pump station's final design for an amount not to exceed $874,177. Ms. Williams.
And Chair, Brown and Caldwell was the final design consultant that you selected back in April of 2023 for the wet weather pump station. We are close to bid, but the process that got us here, it took a few twists and turns from the original basis of design before Brown and Caldwell worked through it with us, as there were some slight scope changes. That's the need for this audition. This is not going to take us through construction. We'll come back. As you know, we'd like to retain the design consultant during construction. This gets us up to that point of anything.
Motion to approve the modification. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did I hear from you? Did I hear from? Okay, all right. Just check, because I didn't think I heard that. Just making sure. I don't want our attorney over there saying that.
Well, I would say we should be concerned. I hope our attorney can speak up.
I want to make sure. All right, it has been approved. Item F is a motion to approve the modification of service authorization for 100 for Osborne Engineering for additional work, which is associated with the inspection of 300-foot radial brick chimney for an amount not to exceed $56,110. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, the board retained Osborne to do the assessment of the iconic chimney. All 300 feet. There is a result of that assessment and work. It's been recommended. This will take us through that process of making sure those things are done and done correctly. I believe fall of this year should be complete, and it will enhance the safety. Probably never paid attention to the fact that there's a ladder, a catwalk that takes you up there. Every little anchor, if you're the one walking up there, you want to make sure every little anchor is A-OK.
I would think so.
This will get us there.
Okay, all right, thank you. If there's no questions,
Motion approved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, it's been approved. Item G. I heard that time, I heard this. Item G is a motion to authorize the executive director to execute the cable line relocation agreement with Comcast Cable Communications Management LLC, providing that for the deposit of $16,328.64 for the relocation and installation of fiber optic cable lines to accommodate the construction impacts of the Ohio River Tunnel at the ALCOSAN connector tunnel site. Ms. Williams.
Well done, Madam
I just
Chair.
said-
It was a lot. At the March meeting, the board took action to enter agreements with various, what I refer to as sibling, brother, sister utilities working outside of the plant, outside of the fence line. You start to engage the world, and everybody has utilities everywhere. This will take care of our Comcast needs at this specific location. You're going to see more and more of these as we continue to work out there.
Motion authorized.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this is approved. Item H is a motion to ratify the approval of and authorization of the executive director to execute the First Amendment to general release of all liability indemnification agreement with Homes Family Limited Partnership, Babcock Packaging Corporation, Inc., and Mr. Takeout Bags LLC regarding the property acquired on March 31st of 2023, which has been identified as tax parcel ID number 24-P-190. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, you've become much more familiar with property issues and engaging the world as we work outside the fence on property. And if anybody needs a takeout bag, let us know.
I was gonna say, learning more about property than I ever wanted to know.
Especially this one.
Yeah.
Motion to approve and authorize.
Second. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Item I and item J and item K, as we were so informed, all are related to the Ohio River Tunnel. And we'll start with I. Motion to adopt the resolution number 2025-0401, authorizing the condemnation or the purchase in lieu thereof of temporary real estate interest in portions of 4 parcels of real estate. They are identified as tax parcel ID number 9A-158, 9A-160, 9A-162, and 9B-2011, which is owned by 810 River Avenue. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, it's going to be a ditto through the property. Supports our clean water plan activities.
Motion approved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Approved. Carried. Item J is the motion to adopt resolution number 2025-0402, authorizing an additional payment for business relocation and reestablishment costs in the amount of $4,012.50 to Gia, I guess I should pronounce it, Kia Manuel and Aaron Manuel, regarding property acquired on March 31st, 2023, identified as tax parcel ID number 9B24A. No explanation. May I have, a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right, it's carried. Item K is a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-0403, authorizing the condemnation for the purchase in lieu thereof of temporary and permanent real estate interests and portions of 2 parcels of real estate. They are identified as tax parcel ID number 75P120, 75R270. These are owned by the Valspar Corporation and Engineered Polymer Solutions, Inc., respectively. Again, no explanation because she's already given us that, but I have a motion in a second.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item L is a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-0404, authorizing the purchase of a parcel of real estate identified as tax parcel ID number 75J75, owned by the city of Pittsburgh. Ms.
Motion to
Williams?
adopt.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Item M is a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-0405, authorizing the acquisition of a parcel of real estate identified as tax parcel ID number 213G51 through a donation from Allegheny County.
Madam Chair, I would emphasize donation
Donation, yes,
with great appreciation.
donation with great appreciation for the minutes.
Motion to adopt. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Item N is a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-0406, authorizing the condemnation of temporary and permanent real estate interests and portions of 2 parcels of real estate. They are identified as tax parcel ID numbers 213G5501 and 213G59, owned by Keith and Michelle Johnston. Again, basically what we want.
Motion to adopt. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And I don't hear it, I have to check. One or attorney telling us we had an illegal vote. All right, and item O is a motion to accept the proposals as recommended by the authority's risk manager to provide insurance coverage to ALCOSAN for the period of May 16th of this year, 2025 to May 16th next year, 2026, at a total premium of $2,184,780 as per attachment exhibit G. So say drum roll, please.
Oh, that's not property? Wait a minute. No.
It's not property. We're waiting for, I know we have some information.
Where-
He's hiding in the back over there.
Who goes to the back row? So, Madam Chair, Board, it is insurance renewal time. Insurance for the world is tricky right now. We are very fortunate that overall the program came in, I believe, 80,000 under budget, which is phenomenal when you think about it. The projects that we've gone through that has added to what we have here. That's pretty impressive. And it's in large part due to our risk management consultant holding our hand and guiding us meticulously through the process. Mark McCall from TJS. Mark, tell us something.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Director. Thank you. Insurance does not happen in a vacuum. This has been an 8-month process. And as Arletta said, there's been a lot of expansion. The world is insurance as we know it. Every time you turn on the news, you see catastrophe. There is, significant rate stabilization by the insurance industry. Last year on ALCOSAN premise alone, there's $122 million of planned expansion between 3 projects, which is driving a lot of these numbers. 14.6% overall increase in the premiums. Again, I say it does not happen in a volume. This has been an 8-month process, and I would really like to recognize those that had significant influence and impact on the process that helped to mitigate the inevitable. Kim Kennedy and your staff, the engineering staff, I know they're going to be so glad when this process is done. We leaned upon you and your staff a tremendous amount throughout the process. Karen Fantoni, I mean, the applications and the financial analytics and all that you've done there. And special recognition to Megan Cunningham, countless hours that she has put into the process. You know, dealing with underwriters, going on plant tours, you know, throughout the whole process. Thank you for that. And certainly Michelle and Arletta, your support throughout the process. Again, an 8-month project. And, you know, I'd like to think insurance is over and we can forget about it until next year. But we've, Megan and I were just talking, we're going to start the renewal process coming up in another 2 months for next year. This is the 3rd and final year of the 3-year cycle. In 2026, there'll be complete remarketing of the insurance program going out into the community. So thank you for all the support. And although, you know, it's a big number, overall success.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Motion to accept the proposal. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Approved. All right, and I don't think we have any new business today. All right, then. Oh,
Yes, I have the opportunity and really the privilege to serve on this board for about 3 years. And but I am after today's meeting, I'm stepping down. And I do so with a good deal of regret because it's a wonderful organization. And I remember when I was appointed to serve on this board, someone whose name I'm trying to forget said to me, "Oh, so now you're the sewage king." And I thought, okay, well, exactly what I was expecting. But you know, the work that ALCOSAN does is it's of vital importance. And let's face it, the work that ALCOSAN does is life-sustaining. And I think that I had this opportunity to serve on this board. People who I admire because of their professionalism and their real commitments, and it has, you know, been an opportunity that I won't soon forget. I would also be remiss if I didn't note this. If you take a look at the leadership of this organization, there are 7 women on the masthead, on the leadership board. I'm the father of 3 adult daughters, so that is not lost on me. And as my wife often reminds me, you know, if women ruled the world, it would be a very different place.
That's right.
So, thank you all very much.
Best wishes.
that is new business. I guess I just didn't want to accept it. We thank you very much, Paul, for everything you've done.
It's been great serving.
And that you continue. Right, then we really are done. We are adjourned. Our next meeting is May the 15th. Remember, we're always earlier in May because of